Lady Sardet had been tasked with presenting Constantin's greetings to the Theleme and Alliance governors at San Matteus and Hikmet. Her business in New Serene now concluded, she decided to set off for San Matteus along the westward road. The road had its fair share of brigands and aggressive wild animals, but they proved no match for their Sardet. This area hosted a native village. Since they were so close to New Serene, it seemed wise to her to foster good relations with them. They all mistook her for a native.
Bertir Tumad, you are on Olmanawi.
Bertir Tumad, why are you wearing the same clothes as Renaigse?
But their chief was not willing to meet with them.
Morning.
Bertir Tumad, Renaigse, the Donegat cannot honor you with a visit. Stay out of our way. We have no interest in speaking with a mind shaker.
Mind shaker? That's what you call the missionaries. And we aren't missionaries.
Never mind. The Donegat will not receive you.
All right. We'll leave.
It seems that they thought them to be unwanted missionaries. One of the hunters was willing to speak to her and shared that the village had some trouble with wild animals, that they were barely keeping away.
Oi, Renaigse, are you a hunter? I am skilled, but unable to chase away all of these 10 lands alone. Our village barely survives.
Lady Sardet thought that maybe calling a few of the packs of wild predators might improve the natives' willingness to speak to her.
Move away! Things are about to get dicey! Broke your armor! Be careful!
But alas, it does not. They seem dreadfully afraid of missionaries. We've managed to hit level 8. We'll save these points so we can buy a new ability later on. Up the road, beyond the village, there's a campsite that would suit Sir de Cousilion's needs. Activating these camps gives us access to our inventory and crafting tables, as well as travel options and the ability to restructure our team on the fly. Crossing the bridge brings us to a wrecked campsite and the corpse of a Theleme priest. There's a pack of shaggy beasts. They're led by a much larger, more dangerous pack leader that takes some work to bring down.
things are about to get...
It's dangerous enough, but we know there's larger beasts on this island. There's a fortified camp accessible through a small passage, just beyond the tents, that's housing a group of Theleme missionaries. It's concerning that Theleme is encroaching so close to New Serene territory. They seem to have requests for contracts. Maybe they decided we'll get some insight into what they're after. But at least outwardly, they profess to be missionaries. These must be the people the natives were wary of. It seems the itinerant priest was unaware of this camp, or just how dangerous the roads are. Otherwise he might have sheltered here overnight.
Here we have a rather strange group. Do you come from the continent? Do you have any news to discuss? I wonder how things are going on the island, at San Matteus in particular.
San Matteus may be a newer settlement, but it's already an imposing sign of the landscape. Clearly Theleme means to make their stay permanent.
Halt! In the name of the Enlightened One, present yourself.
Lady de Sardet, emissary of the Congregation of Merchants on Tirfredi. I have come to present my regards to your governor.
We have been expecting your visit, Your Excellency. Welcome. May he light your way.
But discussions with the Theleme ambassador back in Old Serene had led her to believe the religious nature to be relatively mild, more focused on generating good by preaching, but it seems that they can be quite insistent.
Renounce your gods! Answer me.
Why? Why are you doing this?
Behold your so-called gods. You are demons. They burn. They are nothing. You shed tears for this creature while your heart should be full of joy, welcoming the light. Forget your pagan foul teachings. Embrace the true faith.
You are mad.
Renounce your gods!
Inquisitor?
You! Stop where you are. The pagan stink of these soulless natives taints you. You bring demon-spawned barbarians through our gates.
This man just killed some helpless soul in front of our eyes and he calls us barbarians.
Who are you to address me with such familiarity?
I am the Inquisitor Aloysius, and you will be going nowhere lest your answers give me satisfaction. Do you believe that the God of Light is the one and only God?
Don't tell me that you are going to humor this crazed assassin.
If I want to complete my mission, I believe I have no other choice. Diplomacy may seem to you of little import, but I doubt that your governor will be of a similar opinion. Aggression towards an emissary of another nation is an error that could lead to war.
You cannot hide from the divinity behind politics. But very well. I leave you in divine hands. This time. I shall allow you to continue along your path. I am certain ours will cross again.
And be aware that wheresoever you wander, you shall be weighed, measured, and judged.
The Sardet's diplomatic immunity may have got the Inquisitor to back off this time, but there was clearly an extremist faction that was quite willing to try and force the congregation of merchants to convert, should they gain the upper hand in Theleme politics. Something to keep in mind.
You are now under the stern eye of the God of Light. Hope that your underwear is clean.
It seems like you do not hold the priests of Theleme in high regard.
It's mostly that I do not trust them. They're hot-headed. You did a good job.
Young lady. Pardon me, are you not part of the new governor's entourage?
I'm his cousin, and I'm accompanying him on his mission to Tirfredi. What can I do for you, Father?
Bishop Petrus. How divinely fortunate this is. Did you know that I had the honor of meeting you at your uncle's court when you were a child? I would never have imagined that you would grow up to resemble the island natives so closely.
The island was yet to be discovered. How could you have known?
You haven't lost your clever little tongue. You were always quite a remarkable young girl. I'm on my way to New Serene as an ambassador to the new governor. Do you think there would be room for me to accompany you? The roads are not truly safe.
I must first meet the Mother Cardinal to present my respects on behalf of my cousin.
I will accompany you, and then we can take the road together. I'm so happy our paths have crossed once again.
The Sardet had no memory of what Bishop Petrus spoke of. Either way, it will be courteous to travel together since they'd be heading back to New Serene afterwards anyway.
Your Eminence, in the name of the Congregation of Merchants, I present my best regards.
May the light bless you and accompany you on these grounds with inspired guidance.
I thank you. We truly wish that this visit will strengthen the ties between our two nations.
I learned that you crossed paths with that of Inquisitor Aloysius. I beseech you to forgive his zealous nature. His faith is absolute, and I congratulate you to have appeased him. Your faith and your diplomatic skills honor you.
Another subject brings me as well. The Malachor. The horrible blood plague decimating our peoples.
A terrible matter that worries us all and reveals our imperfections and sinful nature. For he would never have allowed such an evil to spread without a deeper reason, a fault. Our theologians are certain that the Malachor is the work of a curse, and we have discovered that this island is home to a cult that venerates willfully a horrifying demon.
What a fortuitous coincidence. A practical excuse for sending the Inquisition out to set the island ablaze.
We must unearth this cult and tear it out by its sinister, sinful roots. We started to investigate a village not far from here, where strange happenings have been reported.
I have begun investigations, and I confirm that a demon is certainly active in the area.
Alas, the population is very secretive, and we have great difficulty gleaning any useful information. But if the congregation would help us in this matter, in other words, if the Malachor troubles your cousin as much as myself, report to His Majesty that the destruction of this pagan cult is the only way to eradicate the plague, and his help in obtaining any information from the natives.
There's a need to be skeptical about the Mother Cardinal's assessment of what's happening at the village. After all, the Inquisitor's actions have been the most sinister she's seen thus far on the island.
What was your role at my uncle's court? Were you already an ambassador?
No, but I was part of the embassy. I had only just started my career as a diplomat back then. Theleme was hoping to convert the congregation, and they had sent me to spread the word. I tried to teach you some of the basics because you had a predisposition for magic, but you were so young. You preferred to run around the halls with a wooden sword in hand, chasing your cousin.
It seems that even back then we wanted to give our mischievous cousin a few whacks with a sword.
What do you want from me, my daughter?
Lady de Sardet, emissary of the congregation.
Ah,
the congregation still has the uncanny gift of surprising us. I am Bishop Domitius. I represent the Ordo Luminous on the island.
Your Eminence, I salute you.
Lady de Sardet.
Tell me about San Matteus.
It is still a new city, of course, but it is already the beacon of faith in Tir Fredi. Many Theleme settlers gathered there to walk in the footsteps of our prophet, including, of course, many missionaries and inquisitors, the conversion of the island population being our main concern.
Who are the missionaries?
It is an order that aims to convert people. You must have met some of its followers in Serene. Most of them leave the comfort of Theleme to visit other countries, to spread the good word. This once relatively minor order has become quite significant in recent years, and has established itself in politics in the highest positions of our nation.
What can you tell me about the Ordo Luminis?
This is our Order of Inquisitors. Its members are associated with a very pure version of our faith. They are in charge of tracking down heresies and ungodly cults, and accomplish their tasks with zeal. The discovery of this island and island magic is obviously a real challenge for them, which sometimes leads them to behave a little out of passion, as you have seen.
You seem to know Father Petrus well. What can you tell me about him?
Do I frighten you so much that you do not dare question me directly, my child?
Come on, Petrus. Our young legate probably wants an outside opinion on the person accompanying her. In response to your questions, Your Excellency, Petrus belongs to the Order of the Missionaries. He spent many years in different countries bringing the light. He is a shrewd diplomat and a devious politician, but I am sure you will appreciate his services.
The Mother Cardinal and Bishop Petrus don't exactly see eye to eye. There's a definite undercurrent of tension here. A letter greets us as we arrive at our lodgings in San Matteus. It seems that the natives in the area around the town would like to speak to us. That's interesting. Does this have anything to do with the village that Mother Cardinal spoke of? But right now we should escort Bishop Petrus to convey his own greetings to cousin Constantin. It would be undiplomatic to keep him waiting, and the message may not have been intended for Theleme ears.
I would like, if you would allow me the honor, to introduce Bishop Petrus, emissary of Theleme.
Your Highness, may the light warm you in its holy embrace.
Enchanted to meet you, my father.
I've come here to present respects from Theleme and best wishes from the Mother Cardinal.
She has my most sincere thanks.
Vasco also wants a word with de Sardet. He'd been thinking about what she'd found out about his family and needed to know more about them. Lady Morange would know.
De Sardet, I'd like to know more about my family. I need to know what became of them. Could you accompany me to see Lady Morange? I'm afraid that without you, she may refuse to give me any information.
We would like to have some information regarding an important family, the D'arcys.
Well, I could tell you many things about them, but I suppose that you want to know something in particular?
Are there any members of this family on the island?
Indeed, Bastien D'Arcy, the son of the family, has been in New Serene for some time. Last I heard about it, he was doing business, but that doesn't help in knowing where he is. The D'Arcys' first attempt at establishing themselves on this island wasn't very fruitful, but I seem to recall that since then the son has found a competent associate who's been working here for a long time.
Perfect. Could you tell us where to find her?
Of course. Ask for a Madame Clerc near the warehouses on the port. That's where she normally is. I hope the D'Arcys are not in trouble.
Do not worry, madam. Their name was simply mentioned in some business discussions. We are thinking about becoming associates. We would like to know more about them to form an opinion.
If you ask me, you should forget this idea, Your Excellency. Their son is a poor business partner.
Why do you say that?
I do not mean to speak ill of him. Perhaps it would be better for you to form your own opinion.
Well, thank you for your help, madam.
Can I help you? Are you here to do business?
Are you Madame Clerc?
We would like to meet with your associate, Mr. D'Arcy.
Bastien? I don't know where he is. I can't say that he often graces us with his presence.
You don't have the slightest idea where he is?
I am not his caretaker, you know.
You don't seem to hold him in high regard.
Listen, my relationship with my associate is no one else's concern. And if you didn't come to do business, well...
We must find him. This man you can see by my side is his brother.
Do not insult my intelligence. I know that the D'Arcys only have one son, alas.
You can see the Naught tattoos on his face, can't you? And a merchant like you must surely know about the Naught's recruiting process.
So it is true. The D'Arcys gave away one of their children. I find it hard to believe. He was supposed to go to Hikmet to deal with one of our clients, but I didn't receive any news from him after his departure. And given his tendency to get himself into impossible situations, I didn't try to get any.
Who is this client?
His name is Farrat. You'll find him in the Alchemist District. I'll write this down.
You think something may have happened to him there?
His mission wasn't very complicated. He had to pay for a valuable shipment and take charge of it. With Bastion, anything is possible.
Thank you, madam.
All roads, or quests to be more specific, lead to Hikmet and the Bridge Alliance. And that's our next stop. The road crosses through another wilderness area. But it's nothing that a few backstabs won't fix. The Bridge Alliance was at war with the natives, which explains the presence of a fort at the mouth of the valley housing Hikmet.
Halt! What's your destination, milady?
Just into town. I'm an emissary of the congregation and am here to discuss matters with your governor. Why the checkpoint?
We've got orders to verify all comings and goings. The roads are becoming dangerous. Do you have anything particular to report?
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Well then, good travels, milady.
The city was of a size befitting the oldest colonial settlement on the island. Productive farmlands and windmills for processing the grain harvest dotted the landscape, attesting to the development of this area. Smoke plumes bore witness to the alchemical expertise that the Bridge Alliance was known for.
Halt! Your names, titles, and business at hand.
Lady de Sardet, emissary of the Congregation of Merchants on Tier 4D. I have come to present my regards to your governor.
Your papers seem to be in order. Welcome to Hikmet, Your Excellency.
Odd that the guards didn't make comment on Bishop Petrus, despite the conflict with Theleme. Then again, they are coin guards, and the loyalty lay with the coin foremost. Even if they were currently serving the Bridge Alliance, Petrus wasn't their concern. Vasco's brother was the priority for their Sardet. After all, the discussion with his associate suggested that he might be in some financial trouble.
If you come to do business, you should go upstairs. I am but a poor underling.
Hello, sir. Is this the house of the man called Farad?
It is I. What can I do for you?
We're searching for Mr. D'Arcy. He was supposed to come here to do business.
Yes. Yes, he did come here, but I don't know where he is. To be honest, our exchange did not exactly go as planned. And if you are his associate, or a member of his family, know that you owe me a large sum of money.
How so?
Well, this D'Arcy fellow came here to take the shipment, and he was supposed to deliver me a promissory note.
Which never arrived, I imagine. How could you let him leave with your merchandise without payment?
Well, he's the son of a very well-known family. I did not deem it necessary to try and obtain more guarantees.
What if something happened to him?
Nothing happened. At least I don't think so. Why should that concern me? I'm not his brother. He owes me money, and I do not have the slightest idea of where he might be.
I suspect that you are not telling us everything.
Oh, come on. If you have not come to repay his debt, leave me alone so I can work in peace.
You can convince the alchemist to speak out, or you can rummage through the correspondence to find out what Farad is truly planning.
Greetings. If you have come to do business, head upstairs, if there's any business left to do.
Why do you say that?
They haven't been paying me, and I've had to work with cheap ingredients for weeks.
What do you do here exactly?
I create and prepare complex potions. Not simple health potions, but far more subtle things.
And if I'm not mistaken, things are not going the way you would want them to.
The boss has always been difficult, but ever since he got ripped off, it has been a living hell. I work using leftovers thrown away by all the other alchemists, while listening to him screaming at me and everyone else all day. This is no way to live.
Have you heard of a man called Bastian D'Arcy?
It would be difficult not to. His name is the only thing my boss talks about. Apparently, he did not pay for one of our shipments and still left with the goods. And now my boss makes me work twice as much to compensate for his losses. With ingredients I wouldn't even feed to a pig.
And what did your boss do?
Well, he spent every waking hour cursing his name. That's how I learned about it.
How can a brilliant, conscientious alchemist keep working here? I am certain that any great laboratory in town would welcome you with open arms. So why continue protecting your employer?
Oh, you're right. Anywhere is better than here. My boss did not only curse the name of the man you're looking for, he also hired some thugs to find him and our shipment.
Interesting. I think we may need to have a few words with your employer.
If you could also tell him that I am resigning, then I won't need to go upstairs.
You again. I already told you that I do not know where the man you're searching for is.
You may not know where he is, but you did everything you could to find him, didn't you?
What do you mean?
Does this document ring a bell? You hired some debt collectors to find Mr. D'Arcy.
How dare you rummage through my belongings?
You could have taken legal action and retrieved what you were owed, but you sent some killers instead.
I doubt the governor would approve. Do you want us to tell him about it?
No. But please, understand me. The D'Arcy family is on the continent. It would take months for them to reply to my complaint. What other solution was there? My shop will not survive this.
Tell us who these debt collectors are, and we'll take care of it.
They loiter in an alleyway of ill repute, not far from here, in the Science District.
That's what I feared. Probably a bunch of cutthroats. If Bastian survives...
If he survives, remind him of what he owes me.
Farad is insane if he believes that he still has a valid claim on the debt. Not after resorting to thuggery and possibly murder. In the distance we can hear some posh sounding pleading. Sounds like a right ponce, this Bastian.
Have mercy! Have mercy! I will repay everything, I swear. This is nothing but a horrible misunderstanding. My family is very rich. They will give you everything you want, please.
Hey, you! Leave this man alone!
What do you want? No one asked you for your opinion, so get lost.
Maybe he's friends with the weakling.
Maybe. In any case, it seems like he wants to share his fate.
You think I'm afraid? I've fought uglier people than you.
Vasco, let me try to take care of this. How much money are we talking about? You're here to collect a debt, right?
Between what he owes our client and our commission, it's a hefty sum. But if you want to pay in his stead, my lady, please do.
I don't think you realize who you're dealing with. So, let me introduce myself. My name is de Sardet. I'm the legate of the congregation, and I'm here to save the life of one of our citizens. If you do not deliver him to me immediately, I will have no choice but to inform the governor.
And you'll end up rotting in jail in no time.
Damn it, they look serious.
Yes, a bit too much. Listen, we don't want to get in trouble with the governor, so take him.
Yeah, if our client wants to get repaid, he'll have to make an official request. Come.
Thank you for your intervention. I thought these brutes would kill me.
Don't mention it. It's only natural.
But how did you end up in such a situation?
Oh, I'm certain someone like you, who belongs to high society, will understand. There is a game table here that is attended by the best of the aristocracy. I lost the money I owed to that merchant while playing there. And since I got out with a few other debts, I had to leave the merchandise as repayment as well. But that's a mere trifle that my father would have paid for without thinking twice. I never would have thought that someone would send these types of brutes after me. What a lack of tact. In any case, I am extremely grateful to you. To whom do I have the honor of speaking?
My name is Captain Vasco. Naught and sea given. It was a pleasure, sir. Thank you, de Sardet.
My pleasure. But why didn't you tell him who you were?
But I did tell him. I was stupid. I resented everyone, and you even more, for the life I didn't get to live. You had it all, everything I thought I was entitled to. But after seeing Bastion, I realized that in the end, I was exactly who I wanted to be. A naught, and a proud one at that.
I'm glad to hear it. No more regrets?
No more regrets. And I certainly don't regret not being called Leandra D'Arcy.
Vasco's now at peace with his past, and fully ready to embrace his future as a Naught and a friend of de Sardet's. If he'd been sent to her by the Naughts to spy on her, de Sardet had turned the tables on them by showing him sincere concern for his needs. His sharpness and wit will give de Sardet a bonus to her underhanded actions going forward.
You'd better go and meet this governor without me. We are at war. I'm not certain that I can remain calm if I see such a man.
I think it would be better for me to stay here if you want to preserve your image with the Alliance. My mere presence by your side would be perceived as an insult.
Your Excellency, I'm very sorry, but I can't let you in. For safety reasons, people from Theleme are not tolerated at the palace. Do you understand?
Yes, of course. I'm so dangerous that I could attack the palace all by myself.
The guards at the gate may have been uninterested in Bishop Petrus's presence, but neither him or Ciora would be allowed peaceful entry into the palace by the Bridge Alliance guards.
Your Excellence, it is an honor to meet you. Allow me to present my sincerest regards in the name of the Congregation of Merchants.
And allow me to wish you and your cousin a warm welcome to the island, in the hopes that this visit will help prolong the profitable relations between our two nations.
Likewise. Nevertheless, another question brings me. The Malachor. The Prince d'Orsay hopes that these new shores will bring us new possibilities, even a remedy.
It is an area that concerns us greatly, but be assured we are studying it acutely. Our doctors and alchemists are particularly interested in the flora of the Isle. It's extremely varied and different from our own. In fact, we have sent a group of explorers into a very promising sector. Alas, we've had no news from them for quite some time now. We are hoping that nothing has happened. We would have sent a patrol to investigate, but we cruelly lack the means to do so. The natives have proven aggressive, even hostile to our studies, and have attacked us regularly. We are obligated to maintain all of our able-bodied men here in order to protect the city. But we would be happy to share with you the results of our research if...
Your Excellency.
This insolent interruption is untimely and unwelcome.
I deeply regret, Excellency, but one of our frontier posts has just suffered a brutal attack.
Report then, and be precise.
The natives attacked us by surprise. Our men were massacred. Our frontier post is lost.
One more act of barbarity. Dismissed, soldier. Where was I? Yes, we would be most pleased to share our discoveries with our allies if your cousin would send us a party to help us find our lost expedition. I could show you to which region they were sent.
I thank you for the information and will let him know.
If you are of a mind to accord me another request, I would be truly grateful.
I'm listening.
As you have not failed to observe, our troops, as well as our caravans, have been suffering incessant attacks. The merchants, including your own, are raided, often killed, and certain goods have become scarce. Captain Rainhild, who commands our outpost in the plains, has communicated his incapacity to protect them, considering that certain of your own fellow countrymen are involved.
You would like me to lend a hand? I will see what I can do, Your Excellency.
Would you like to speak with me about any other subjects?
Could you tell me a little about your city?
Hikmet is the oldest city on the island. We began construction of its first buildings 15 years ago, shortly after the discovery of the island. A magnificent city, where the great minds of the time were united in a common goal. Here you could find the best doctors, the greatest engineers, and the most eminent savants. In everyone's eyes, this island has great promise, and Hikmet is the city that allows us to make good on that promise.
And what of this conflict with Theleme on Tir Freddy?
Officially, we are at war, but we have never waged war openly here. Of course, we did not rejoice when they set up camp on the isle, and we expected the worst. But it seems that their only concern is to convert the natives into believing their ridiculous teachings. They represent no true danger to us, at least not for the time being. And to be frank, we have plenty of other concerns that demand our attention.
The ambassador certainly portrayed the attack as an act of barbarism, but Ziara's own story spoke of the Bridge Alliance as the aggressors in this tale. Accepting
Greetings.
the ambassador's request immediately would be to take sides in the conflict.
Greetings! I wish I had news from Al-Sad more often. My brother lives there.
In a breach of the neutrality that she'd been assigned to maintain as legate of the congregation. Reporting the success of her diplomatic visits to Constantin and the requests that Theleme and the Bridge Alliance had made of her will be appropriate before taking any actual action. Cousin looked fatigued, however. Maybe being governor wasn't the bed of roses it had been made out to be.
Cousin! You have returned to me. Your absence was sorely felt.
You don't appear to be in top form. Are house intrigues keeping you from finding proper sleep?
No, nothing to bring me nightmares as of yet. I'm blaming it on the change of diet. Now, tell me what adventures you've been up to. If you only knew how bored I grow behind these walls.
I have been to the neighboring cities as you asked of me.
Tell me then, was your journey adventurous?
Well, I was able to gain audience with the governors, give them your regards, and glean some information. The Bridge Alliance believes that a remedy could possibly be found by studying the local flora. They are quite motivated, but their research expedition has gone missing, and there is no sign of life. And since they themselves are under constant attack, they cannot spare a rescue party to investigate. The Mother Cardinal, in her opinion, believes the Malachor to be the result of a curse.
A curse cast by a demon. An evil creature worshipped by a cult of island natives. If you would allow me to second the request of our Mother Cardinal, we are in dire need of your help. Our Inquisitors are hardly diplomats and... But I should let you finish, my daughter.
They have started their investigations in a village where strange events have been taking place, but they are unable to get to the bottom of it. The population keeps its secrets, and Theleme hopes that we might help them learn more about the cult.
This is all extremely interesting. You have lived up to my expectations, as always. That said, we find ourselves between the rock and the hard place. The bridge is already in open conflict with the island natives. Theleme and their Inquisitors. We're going to have to tread on eggshells, but let's follow all the clues to their mysteries. We need to help them continue their investigations. Perhaps one will lead us to something useful.
I don't have a lot of men, as well you know, and since I only trust you among them, take Kurt and any others that seem useful. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to you.
If you would allow me, Your Highness, I would be honored to assist your cousin on her investigation.
Very well, then. You could start by indicating the precise location of your nasty village.
Of course, Your Highness. I should have thought of that sooner. Allow me to mark the location on your map, my daughter.
Thank you. Have no fear, Constantin. I will take care of all matters at hand.
Anything else?
Are you liking your new role as a governor? How does it feel?
Honestly, once the thrill of the first few days is over, it's boring. I receive delegations from everywhere. They arrive with their arms full of presents to make me sign some agreements. Most of them take me for a fool, who will be easily convinced by some silver trinket. I would love to simply brush them all off and work on some real projects. I have so many ideas to make this city, this island, truly amazing.
How are relations with our allies?
Oh, they bow and scrape, and they regularly assure me of their unwavering friendship, so that they can better try to convince me to embrace their point of view, and only theirs. Theleme wants to convert me, and the Alliance assures me that only they will allow us to benefit from progress. They're a bunch of old foxes, but they take me for a young, brainless rabbit. The only thing they really want is to increase their influence on this island. With our help.
The Sardet's skills had improved. Firstly, she acquired the ability to freeze enemies in place for a time. The ultimate goal was to gain healing abilities, however. Her knowledge of science had also improved. She found herself short on ammunition for her rifle, and they were expensive to purchase. It was imperative she learned how to craft her own. Just like back at home, Constantin was being taken as nothing but a hedonistic fop. Unfortunately, his reputation preceded him, but their Sardet understood his frustration. Hopefully he'd soon be allowed to divert his attention towards more productive matters. She knew he could accomplish something here. He just never had the chance to try in his entire life. It will be important to get more information on the curse intimated by the Theleme, and the conflict between the natives and the Bridge Alliance. Kurt's contacts had also learned something of what was taking place in this secret coin guard regiment.
My contacts have spoken. I was able to discover the location of this infamous Phantom training camp.
Do you still think they should be held accountable?
More than ever. You know that I recruited Raynor. I want to know what kind of hornet's nest I led him into. I want to know what these madmen did. But I fear if I go alone, I might not be able to control myself. And I won't learn anything. I need the help of my best student.
How can I refuse such a request? Well then, let's go. What is your duty as Master of Arms? Besides teaching us how to fight.
What was my duty, you mean? It's all in the past now. In truth, you may have guessed it, but my main role was to make sure that nothing would happen to you and Constantin. Without, of course, turning you into some courtiers that are afraid of steam. You have to be considered trustworthy to take on this role. But alas, it isolates you from the rest of the guards. Always at the court, but never really belonging to it. I spent almost my entire time with you without seeing my comrades.
Tell me about your family. Were your parents in the guard as well?
Yes. And to be truthful, I never knew them. I was entrusted to a wet nurse, a prostitute who followed the troops. I remember her. She was sweet, and a good person. She may be the only one who showed me any kind of affection. But that didn't last. As soon as I could hold a wooden sword, I was given a real one and sent to training.
On the way to the camp, they met some strange scholar that foolhardily attacked them on sight. Turns out that this was one of their contracts the missionaries had put out. Given that he was known for conning customers, it seemed odd that he just attacked them out of the blue. And so they arrived at the camp, completely undetected too. These are not the Jedi you're looking for, soldier.
I was informed of your arrival by my sentinels, but I didn't think it would be you, Kurt.
Rolf, you're the leader of this camp.
You two know each other?
We train together. We haven't seen each other in a long time. A very long time.
The world of warriors is very small, Kurt. What brings you here, my old comrade? And who are these people with you? They're not one of us?
My name is Sardet. I'm the legate of the merchant congregation.
And I'm Siora, Donegad, of the Gaius-Rad.
These people sure are important. So, what are you doing here?
I've heard things about this place. About this very special camp.
And we wanted to see what it was all about with our own eyes.
That's very nice of you, but visitors aren't welcome in this camp. What goes on here is only the guards' business.
Does the same apply to me?
Listen, Kurt. I can give you and your friends some answers, but only because it's you. Anyway, knowing you as well as I do, I'm aware I'm not going to get rid of you that easily. So, what would you like to know?
What is it you do here? And why is this place kept secret, even from your comrades in the guard?
The natives have their magic, and we have to train elites to be able to face them. That's what we're doing here. Our role is sensitive, and our location obviously cannot be revealed to the whole island.
Does this man not realize that I'm a Donegad?
I noticed you're a native, but you're a friend of Kurt's, so I trust you will be discreet.
I see the reason for this kind of training. The Bridge Alliance would be particularly interested in soldiers like these, and yet I've never heard of this elite squadron.
We're still in the early stages of the program. We don't want to rush things, and our leaders demand secrecy. Orders are orders.
This is a huge camp for such a secret location. How's it organized?
The main building is reserved for officers and the wounded. The front and rear of the camp are dedicated to combat training. But most exercises take place outside.
Impressive. And how do you manage recruitment?
Only the best come here. Those who have combat experience. Once they arrive, they're separated into 2 squadrons, each led and trained by a lieutenant. But you already know all of this, Kurt. It must bring back memories.
Yes.
Will you tell us about your training?
That's a sensitive topic. Most exercises take place in the field to get the men used to it. The natives' knowledge of the environment gives them as much of an advantage as their magic. But if you want to know more, you should ask my lieutenant instructors.
Actually, we found out about this camp while we were looking for someone.
A kid I recruited. Rainer.
Oh. I didn't know he was one of yours. My condolences. I was told he died in an accident in the harbor.
Don't insult my intelligence, Rolf.
All right. Since you're here, I guess there's no point in lying to you anymore. The accident occurred during a maneuver. It's regrettable that these things happen, you know?
We've taken up enough of your time, Captain.
I agree, and I have things to do.
I'd like to question your lieutenant instructors, if you don't mind. To ask them about Rainer.
You've become a real sap. Fine. But try not to disrupt the day's schedule too much. Goodbye.
I'm sorry. I couldn't contain my anger.
I noticed. Good thing you know this captain so well. I don't think he would have let us investigate otherwise.
I'm not sure it's a good thing, really.
You don't seem to like this man.
Your aversion is clear. But is it him that you hate? Or what the camp represents, my son?
Rolf doesn't bring back good memories for me. But let's continue. I want to know what's going on here. Lieutenant.
Captain.
My friend here would like to learn more about this camp.
What kind of training takes place in your ranks?
Combat in natural settings.
combat against the savages' magic.
I'm very curious about how you train against the magic the natives use.
Now, these are complex, secret maneuvers. I'm very sorry, but I can't tell you anymore.
That's a pity. It would definitely be instructive.
I heard the recruit Rainer trained here. What can you tell me about him?
Oh, he was a good one. He died a little while ago.
So we've heard. Your captain told us he died during a maneuver. Can you tell us more?
The training we do outside can be dangerous. Unfortunately, Rainer fell to his death in a ravine.
He fell?
During a simulated ambush. I know, it's not glorious, but it happens. I'd like to get back to work now, if you'll allow it, Captain.
Go on. We're gonna go talk to some of your recruits.
I hope that it won't take too long. We're all very busy here.
We'll be quick, Lieutenant.
The story about training against magic is a lie. This lieutenant has no idea what he's talking about.
So what could they be training recruits for here, then?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I don't like it. Soldier!
Yes, Captain.
At ease. We have some questions for you.
Me? At your orders, Captain.
You look exhausted. Is training that rough here?
It's difficult at first, but you get through it. Taming fatigue. That's the key to it all.
Haven't you ever wanted to stop? You've never doubted your vocation.
I'm not a coward, nor a weakling. The strength of the shadow.
What is that? Your motto?
Our squadrons, Captain.
You seem concerned about your comrades. You keep looking at them.
No, not at all.
Are you afraid of what they might think of you?
Absolutely not, Captain. We are all of one mind in this squadron. We are very united.
Since this is such a close-knit squadron, you must have known Rainer.
Yes, of course. But he's not part of the squadron any longer. He left.
Really?
I don't know what you're trying to get me to say, Captain. Rainer left the squadron because he was sent on a mission. There's nothing more to say.
Sorry, mate, but that's not what happened.
I don't know anything more.
Thank you. That will be all.
Thank you, madam. Captain.
Good heavens. I feel like a bogeyman.
These recruits are clearly scared to let any information slip.
It's as if their life depended on it.
These people were obviously lying. But what exactly was this camp for? The fear was palpable in the faces of the recruits. They were afraid of telling the truth, but they were also obviously lying.
Lieutenant!
Respectfully, Captain.
Here is my friend, the legate of the merchant congregation. She would like to ask you a few questions.
At your orders. I'm listening, sires.
How do the various squadrons in this camp differ from one another?
The recruits I train are intended to carry out more subtle actions.
Really? What kind?
I teach them how to blend into the background, understand customs, observe, and know when to strike.
That's strange. These skills are normally associated with assassins rather than soldiers.
These skills are always useful, regardless of the enemy or the setting.
What kind of training do your men undergo?
I can't go into details, but they learn discipline and to outdo themselves.
You mean to blindly follow orders, even to their death?
But No, Captain. We also teach them to analyze situations, so that they know when to act to avoid risking their lives.
How did you become an instructor in this camp?
I have led numerous squadrons before, and I've trained hundreds of recruits on the continent. I worked with Captain Rolf in the past, and when I arrived on the island, he recommended me for this position.
That's very impressive. And I expect that you're familiar with the natives' environment and magic.
Yes, of course.
Kurt, don't you think that someone this talented fits what we're looking for? You see, we need to find someone who can replace Kurt to oversee my cousin's security.
Your cousin is a governor of New Serene, I've heard. It's a prestigious position. I don't doubt my abilities, but an offer like this, made so suddenly, must have a price.
We can't hide anything from you.
We're trying to find out what happened to Rainer, a recruit who trained here.
That name doesn't sound familiar. He must have been in the Shadow Squadron.
The other lieutenant's squadron?
Yes. I'm sorry. Haven't been much use to you. Did something happen to him?
He died. His body was thrown into the harbor to make it look like he drowned.
I guess it was one of your recruits. My condolences, Captain.
We'll question some of your soldiers.
At your orders. But please be quick. I'd like to get on with training.
We managed to seduce the lieutenant, but unfortunately she also knew nothing. Maybe the recruits could be similarly seduced.
Hello, soldier. Captain?
We need information. Your instructor authorized us to question you.
Of course, madam. I'm listening.
How would you describe your training? Do you train outside the camp much?
Yes, we do. Well, not exclusively.
Really? Yet we've been told that your unit specialized in actions over difficult terrain.
Yes, I think so. Well, yes, that's true.
Problems remembering things, soldier?
No, Captain.
What's it like in your squadron?
Very good. The Phantom Squadron is made up only of the very best.
Do you trust your comrades?
We're like 5 fingers on one hand, madam. I would trust them with my life.
You've sure got the military spirit.
Yes, Captain.
We've learned that a recruit died in an accident during a maneuver. Does this happen often?
No. Of course not. Only to those who aren't strong enough.
That's strange. I was told that this recruit was very talented.
I don't know what to tell you. It's possible. If you don't mind, I'd like to get back to my training.
He seems afraid that an accident might befall him too.
No, it's not that. I just don't want to fall behind schedule.
Very well. Go on.
Excellence. Captain.
These kids are scared to death.
Yes. This boy's answers about his training seem pretty dubious to me.
You can't hide the lies.
We'd like to learn more about your training.
I have nothing to say about it, my lady.
Really? Go on, it's not a difficult question. What do you do during training?
Is this a test, Captain?
No, it's not a test. You may speak freely.
Well, training is difficult, but we can't complain, Captain.
That's an interesting way to phrase it. You're very united in this squadron. At least that's what I've been told.
United. You could say that, yes. Until death.
That's rather sinister. Does the name Raynor sound familiar to you?
Yeah. Well, no, not really.
You seem rather hesitant. Afraid of being reprimanded by your lieutenant?
No. Well, not at all. It's just that I can't tell you anything about Recruit Raynor. And we're lucky to have the lieutenant as our instructor, Captain.
We should leave this soldier to his work.
Your name, soldier?
Wilhem. First-class recruit Wilhem, Spectre Squadron.
Keep it up, Wilhem.
Lieutenants, report.
Captain?
Could you give us a few minutes and take us around the site? I've never been here before, and I'm curious to see what goes on.
I'm not sure if we can, Captain.
We are on duty, Captain.
Right, Lieutenant. Let's go!
Are
you coming with us?
No, thank you. I'd rather stay here. Take in some fresh air.
As you like. In that case, see you later.
Wilhem, we need to talk. And don't worry, Captain Kurt will make sure your superior doesn't come this way.
Why are you doing this?
We didn't think you'd say anything as long as she was here.
If you noticed, others will have too. They'll make me pay.
Even more reason to talk. If we have proof, we can take action and close this camp.
Very well. What would you like to know?
What's really going on here? We know that Raynor didn't die in an accident.
This is supposed to be a training camp for the Guard's elite. Only the most talented recruits are allowed to join. This is an immense honor, an extraordinary chance. That's what we're told every day. But in reality, it's just hell.
Tell me about the training you undergo here.
It's more torture than anything else. We're constantly beaten and humiliated, and the slightest complaint only leads to more blows. They even push us to police one another, so we don't dare talk. Whatever the orders, we put our heads down, grit our teeth, and obey.
And they call us barbarians. We could never put our own children through this.
Which reminds me of the Ordo Luminis' interrogation methods. The poor buggers end up admitting to anything at all. Accepting the unacceptable.
I heard them tell you about the specialist training against the natives in hostile environments. But what they teach us would be more useful for assassins.
As for Raynor, do you know what happened to him?
Yes. One day he just couldn't stand it any longer. He disobeyed orders, he fought back, and people got hurt. That's when things blew up. They summoned him for night training.
What does that entail?
It doesn't have much to do with real training. They call us up for it at the last minute. The weakest serve as punching bags for the others, who are encouraged to beat them. If we refuse, we too become the targets. So we join in and strike. If you're looking to punish Rayna's murderer, you can start with me. We all have his blood on our hands.
Thank you for telling us all of this. You should get back to your comrades.
I hope you can do something. Have this camp closed. Otherwise, I'll soon be as dead as Rayna.
We understand the risk you've taken. We won't let you down.
Thank you. Really. That was truly fascinating.
Captain?
I've seen everything I needed to see. You can leave us.
Yes, Captain.
Shall we go?
Finally a brave recruit. These recruits were clearly being terrorized into not speaking out. And that had now been corroborated by Wilhem.
Kurt, Wilhem has spoken.
What did he tell you?
He said the recruits go through hell. They are humiliated, spy on each other, get bullied. It's essentially torture. Rayna wouldn't stand for these methods. He rebelled and was summoned for night training.
Are you sure he used that term?
Yes. But he told me it's not really training. That recruits are summoned.
And the others beat them. Sometimes to death. I know.
You know about this kind of training?
Yeah. I thought it was a thing of the past. What a monster. How dare he?
I'm so sorry. I'm lost for words. Tell me, did you learn anything new?
I scouted out the site. There's 2 parts of the barracks we should look at more closely. Rolf's quarters and the basement, which they refused to open for me.
You're full of anger, Sengots. Take a deep breath and think. Then tell us your plan.
Let's wait for nightfall. We'll sneak into the camp unseen, search the barracks, the private quarters, and then the basement.
We might also try to find out where this night training takes place.
Yes. I wouldn't want other young recruits to lose their lives tonight. Especially Wilhem. Let's find Rolf's office. He surely has the key to the basement.
This letter is disturbing, Kurt. It confirms that several deaths have been disguised in order to keep this camp secret. But it says that the recruits trained here have been assigned to governors from different cities. And yet I'm sure that Constantin knows nothing about these elite units. The conclusion of the letter also confirms that the commander is pleased with what's been going on here.
So Torsten knew?
So it seems. Including about the deaths.
He's gone too far. He dishonors us all. Sieglinder was right.
These letters confirm that the commander of the guard was aware of the camp and was directing the training taking place, and that recruits were regularly killed to keep the camp secret. Some of these trainees had already been sent to infiltrate the guard in San Matteus. The problem was that all guards would be members of the Coin Guard, and it would be difficult to tell which Coin Guard soldier was an infiltrator. Removing the Coin Guard entirely was unfeasible, so the only thing they could do was to be watchful.
This room. What could have happened in here?
I know this smell only too well. Fear, blood, death.
These people have turned this place into a site of suffering. It will take years of work to erase its traces.
The Ordo Luminis would surely envy such a place if they knew it existed.
And to think I complained about the Nords' training practices, but this This is horrific, Kurt.
The torture room stunk of corpses needing burial. No wonder the recruits were terrified of speaking to them. Willem's night training call-up took on a very sinister tone.
This document explains a lot. They torture the soldiers to break them. Rayner shows up on this list more than once. He gave them a lot of problems.
Those who resist too much are lynched during night training. Rolf, you'll pay for this.
Kurt, Wilhem's name was added to tonight's training.
That's the young man who helped us, isn't it? They will probably kill him for it.
We can't let them kill him. We must stop this training immediately.
The risk is that Rolf will ambush us.
If this boy dies because of us, I will never forgive myself.
Despite what Wilhem told me, I wasn't expecting this. He's getting destroyed.
They'll kill him. We can't let them get away with it.
Stop! We won't let you kill this boy like you killed Rayner.
Soldiers! Do you realize what you're doing?
Captain? But...
You shouldn't be here. This time, you won't get away with it. Tams!
Do you know what happens to those who die in this regiment? Their bodies are thrown out like those of rabid animals. If you die here, you'll die without glory. Nobody will ever know what happened to you. I doubt that's what they promised you when you joined the Guard.
No. No, of course not.
A good soldier doesn't fight for glory. He fights to be the best.
Really? Then the Guard really has changed. Did you recruits leave your families to end up lynched and thrown into a ditch?
No. You're right, Captain. We never should have ended up here.
Traitors! Cowards! Deserters!
To my help! And death to the others! To my help! And death to the others!
Will you be all right?
I'm wounded, but I'll survive. Thanks to you. I'm eternally grateful.
Come, Wilhem. We'll help you get home. We owe you that, at least.
I'm counting on you to bring him back to the camp in one piece.
Yes, Captain.
Well then, let's go. We can't let that vermin Rolf escape us. I refuse to let these recruits pay for the bastards who manipulate them. Let's avoid spilling blood in vain.
You surprise me once again, Kurt. You're full of compassion for these youngsters.
These children are victims, yes. But they are armed victims. Are you sure they'll spare us in return?
They're just kids. There has to be a way to reason with them.
We'll do what we can, Kurt. I can't promise anything more.
There were many guards posted in the training grounds. They were obviously on alert, maybe due to the night training or maybe because they'd heard the fighting outside. Most people would be spotted immediately, but their Sardet was well practiced in the art of stealth and managed to avoid the attention of the patrols by skirting around the training ground.
Nobody saw us. All we have to do is ambush them in the pit.
And just like that, we managed to save the trainees like Kurt had asked us to.
Rolf, you bastard, how could you be part of this disgrace?
You know that this is how the best soldiers are made. Soldiers, grab your weapons! Death to the traitors!
Stop! Soldiers, are you really going to obey these scoundrels? Do I need to remind you of the Guard's motto? Where is your honor?
I won't repeat myself, recruits. Execute these traitors!
Soldiers, listen to your captain. You are the victims of these monsters, and we are here to save you. We're doing our best to avoid a fight, to spare your lives.
Well, what do you want us to do? We have orders, and we know what will happen to us if we don't obey.
Enough! To arms! Attack!
It was nearly Wilhem's turn tonight. It could have been any of you.
Lies! Only the weak fall. So we must prove that we aren't among them.
Nonsense. I've seen more combat than any of you, and I've seen hundreds of soldiers die. Weak or not. I've seen this kind of camp before, full of torture and sadistic officers. I thought it was a thing of the past, but I was wrong. So help me make sure this camp really is the last of them.
You're right, Captain. If we don't put down our weapons, this will never end.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. You've trained cowards. Their training wasn't finished, Captain, and the speeches were so convincing. Silence! Where is this second squadron? Should have been here a long time ago.
They're not coming, Rolf.
They surrendered too. It would appear that your training methods aren't very effective.
Now that you no longer have lackeys to send after us, Rolf, you'll have to get your own hands dirty.
I've dreamt of shutting that big mouth of yours up for so long.
Move away! Things are about to get dicey! Move away! Things are about to get dicey!
All this bullying and humiliation is only intended to turn you into weapons, not soldiers. And when a weapon is no longer needed, its owner throws it away rather than risk injury. That's why Raina was disposed of.
Being a soldier doesn't mean being a puppet. Put your weapons down.
They're right, mates. I don't want to end up in the harbor.
What do you think, soldier? You think we can trust them?
It's over, Lieutenant. These recruits won't do your dirty work for you anymore.
You're finally here.
Sorry, Captain. The boy resisted longer than planned.
You were spared the shame of seeing how far your comrades have fallen.
What happened?
They surrendered. Like the weaklings they are.
That should make the next night training sessions interesting.
What have you done with Wilhem?
He received the punishment for traitors and insurgents, like Raina before him.
Kurt, I'm terribly sorry. We should have...
saved him first. We're responsible for his death.
Don't blame the wrong people, soldier. Those that slaughtered him stand before us.
You're right. For Wilhem! For Raina!
Recruits! Attack!
A bit of poison on my blade.
Then let's go! Be careful! You're wounded!
Will you be all right, Kurt?
Yes. Yes. I'll be fine. I'm just glad to know that this camp won't kill anyone else.
What about you, Wilhem?
Thank you for saving my life. Without you...
I hope you can forget all about this. This is not what the Guard is about.
I don't know if you'll be able to forgive us, Wilhem.
I've been in your shoes on other nights. You didn't have the choice.
While we wait for this camp to close for good, you'll be under Wilhem's command. You'll soon receive your transfer orders.
At your orders, Captain.
Glad it's you, Wilhelm.
You'll stay here for now. I'll send men I trust to come get you soon.
What do you want us to do?
I'll need backup if I really want to put an end to all of this. We must go see Major Sieglinder in New Serene. I need to tell her what was going on here.
Are you sure she wasn't involved?
Her? Never. She's old school. She already held the commander at a distance because she didn't like the direction the Guard was headed. He would have sacked her, or worse, if she didn't have so much support within the Guard. I should have listened to her.
There's no use brooding over the past. Let's go. We'll go see her immediately.
Sieglinder, I need to talk to you.
What's the matter, Kurt?
We've just returned from a training camp. A secret camp, where elite soldiers are trained through terror, humiliation, and torture.
Don't tell me that.
Yes. One of my recruits died, and he wasn't the only one. It is designed to create a regiment of assassins.
I am sorry, Kurt. I knew something was wrong, but I never would have thought it'd go that far.
We put an end to it all. We had to. But Torsten allowed it, even encouraged it.
I told you that the commander's ambition would end up leading us astray from the ideals of the Guard, and that we would pay the price for it.
Yes. At the time, I told you you were exaggerating. That he had his reasons.
What are you gonna do?
I'm going to speak out, Sieglinder. And reveal the commander's project to the governor of the congregation.
If I were as close to him and his family as you are, I would have done so a long time ago.
I know. I feel so stupid for not having understood Torsten's scheme until now.
You've always been a loyal person, Kurt. And too many loyalties are sometimes hard to reconcile. But Torsten betrayed us all. I'm counting on you to make him pay for it.
Believe me, he won't get away with it. Goodbye, Sieglinder.
Goodbye, Kurt. My men and I stand with you.
The Sardet had gained Kurt's trust. Shutting down the camp and the way we'd spared Wilhem and the other recruits had shown him that we saw him as more than just a hireling.
Rolf appeared to know you well. What was he to you? A friend? A rival?
A little bit of both. I wouldn't have willingly chosen him to be my comrade. And yet he was. And he was always picking at me to make sure that he was the best, the strongest, and the most appreciated. I suppose we all have someone like this in our past. Did you not experience that with Constantin?
Constantin was never easygoing, but we were friends more often than we were rivals. I know he could be awful towards other children, but he always had a liking for me.
You were, and I think you still are, his only friend. The court has not been kind to him.
It's true. Did you know that his father told him one day that he would never climb up the ladder if he did not start behaving in a noble way? Constantin took it a bit too literally and decided to climb up the city walls.
Yes, I wasn't with you then, but I was told about it. That was the first time you saved his life. You were very brave that day. And if memory serves, thanks to you, he wasn't even punished. You really are the friend everyone dreams of having. Anything else?
Sieglinder appears to know you well, and to have a lot of respect for you.
We fought together. That brings people closer, you know that. But I can assure you that's all there is to it. Actually, up until now, I've fought by your side more often than I have hers.
Yet you still managed to surprise me.
I certainly hope so. Just as you surprise me often. Finding pleasure in discovering new aspects of one another's personality is half the fun of a relationship, isn't it?
But the letter alluding to infiltrators already being among the Guard was of concern. The Sardet would have to again put her trust in Kurt and Sieglinder's investigation into the commander's activity. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when new videos come out. See you soon.